Go to the Bhagavad classes. So we are in the chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, and so far we have covered till text 4, right? Okay. So we saw in the beginning of the chapter, Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra that the condition of Arjuna. How is Arjuna in the beginning of the chapter? His eyes was full of tears. In spite of being a Kshatriya, because he was so compassionate, he could not control himself. Thus, the thought of battle has made him so perplexed that he started getting tears in his eyes. And in the next sloka, we saw that the Krishna, for the first time, he started speaking in Bhagavad Gita. And how did he speak? He just spoke, or he was chastising Arjuna? He gave a heavy chastisement to Arjuna. Kutasva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anarya jushtam asvargyam akirtim karam Arjuna. Kutasva kashmalamidam. How such kind of dirty things have entered to you? So, because he is coming from the background of a Kshatriya family, that too, he is the son of Pritha, the son of Kunti. So, and he's also the cousin of Krishna. So, coming from such a great heritage, and he is so much perplexed and he doesn't want to fight. He kept away his weapons and started having tears in his eyes. So, did Krishna approve that? He did not approve that, whereas he is giving heavy chastisement to Arjuna. Anarya Jushtam Asvargyam. Anarya. Arya means the one who knows the goal of one's life. Goal of one's life is to attain liberation, to go back home, back to Godhead. Anarya. How does an Anarya behaves? He doesn't know what is the goal of life. He does not do his prescribed duty, and by not doing a prescribed duty also, one cannot advance in the life. Even though, yes, we are Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. We are all constitutionally the eternal servant of Krishna. But at the same time, we also have Swadharma. We have our own prescribed duty. Like we are the mother of someone, we are wife of someone, we are daughter of someone, and whatever the responsibilities that we are given, we are supposed to do that. I cannot just say that I am the servant of Krishna, so now I have nothing to do with this world. We cannot do that, and we do have to do our prescribed duty. So here Arjuna, being a Kshatriya, his duty was to establish dharma, because this war is fought for. It was a dharmic war, dharma, because the Kauravas, they were trying to serve the entire kingdom by themselves, even though they were not the rightful heir. The Pandavas, they just asked for 5 villages for them to maintain themselves. And Duryodhana said that he cannot even give a space that occupies the tip of the needle. So this war was inevitable. Lord Krishna himself went as a Shantituda for the peace negotiation, for the compromise, but at the end, nothing could happen. So such an inevitable war, and Arjuna was all ready. He was coming with all his great weapons. But in the end, what did he do in the end of the first chapter? He kept his weapons aside. He had Gandiva. He had the chariot given by Agni, and he had Hanuman in his flag. We saw various signs of victory in the sides of Arjuna. So it is not a question of victory, but it is because of compassion that Arjuna did not want to fight. And Akirtim, for a Kshatriya leaving a battle. Have you ever heard a Kshatriya who left the battle and became famous? No, that will bring infamous act on Arjuna. And Akirtim and us, and he cannot even go to Swarga. Even going to Swarga is not very easy. One has to do a lot of, duties towards the ancestors. And one also should do in such a way that he shouldn't have spoken lies for like 100 lifetimes. So there are a lot of qualification needed even to go to heavenly planets. And however, a Kshatriya, by laying down his life in the battle, he can go to Swarga. So either he will go to Swarga or he will be ruling the planet. So either way, it is a win situation for Arjuna. However, here Arjuna is not ready to fight. So Krishna is telling him about the consequence of Arjuna not being fighting. And then, and we also saw that Krishna is addressed here as Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Why he is called as Bhagavan? Can we say anybody as Bhagavan, or Bhagavan has some qualification?
Yes, some qualifications are there.
Yeah, the 6 opulences should be there in fullness.
Fullness, yeah.
Like, it should not be like they can have a little bit of wealth, a little bit of strength, a little bit of beauty, or it's not like that, a power, fame, like that. He should have the entire opulences in fullness. And that criteria is met in Sri Krishna. That's why he is called as Sri Bhagavan Vacha. And also we saw that there are 3 types of transcendentalists who see the absolute truth in 3 different stages. Some of them see the absolute truth as Brahman. They only see the God as a Brahman, as an energy. He is present everywhere. And they are the Gyanis. Gyanis see the God only as Brahman. It is not wrong. However, the realization is not complete. It is partial. Just like if you see the hill station from a far off distance, you see something like a hill, but you cannot understand how the hill looks like, who are living in the hill like that. So from the stage, from that position where we are trying to look the God, in that God also reveals to us in that way. So at a distance, the God reveals himself as Brahman. And those Ashtanga yogis who further go nearer, who tries to see the God as Paramatma in the heart of the living entity, he sees the absolute truth in the form of Paramatma, a further closer. And the devotees, the bhaktas, they see the Lord in the form of a personality. He is a Purusha. He is just not an energy, but also he is a person. Like the sun rays is there because there is sun. Without sun, can there be sun rays?
No.
People generally think that God is an energy, but if there is an energy, there should be an energetic. Like right now we are using electricity, that is an energy, but without powerhouse, can the electricity be generated? It cannot be. So Krishna is a personality, but he is not a person like us, and he is a supreme personality of Godhead, and he exchanges a lot of rasas with us. And also we saw different type of expansions. From Krishna comes Balaram, and from Balaram comes 4 quadrupole expansions, and from him comes Narayana, and from him comes the second quadrupole expansion, and from him comes Mahavishnu, who is also called Karnadakshayani Vishnu. From the breath of the Karnadakshayani Vishnu, each universe emerges. And from each bubble comes a Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And from the navel of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, the Brahmaji comes, and he further expands as Shirodakshai Vishnu, and he is there at each and every atom in the universe. That's why we call God as omnipresent and omnipotent. Everybody says that, right? Because he is present everywhere. So these are all the things we saw, and we also saw a very beautiful sloka here. Ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyari Vyakulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge. So Krishna is everything comes only from Krishna. All the incarnations are coming from Krishna. So this is what, if somebody is asking you, how can you say that Krishna is a God and how everything has come from him? And you can quote this sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam. It is from the first canto, chapter 3, text 28. And in the next sloka, Klaibyam Masma Gama Partha Naitatva Upapadyate. He further chastised him. He says that you are behaving like an impotent man. So that's again another heavy chastisement. And another important thing here is because he is weak by the heart. So we also saw in the previous class, sometimes due to the weakness of our heart, we are not able to do devotional service also. We fall down from the service. And we saw how we can be always in devotional service by remembering Krishna, by reading the Shastras, and by associating with the devotees. So these are the ways in which we can overcome with the weakness of the heart. So many times we see we are trying to distribute books or we are talking about Krishna consciousness to some people. They may initially have a little bit of interest, they may read a little bit, or they may attend 1 or 2 classes, but eventually they don't sustain. Why they don't sustain? What is the reason that people do not sustain? You all tried, to bring people in Krishna consciousness. How easy for us to bring people in Krishna consciousness?
It's very difficult, Mataji.
Yeah. Because you are not able to be strong. The Maya is so strong that it pulls you away. So how can we overcome the weakness of the heart? So, and he also called him as Parantapa. He's a chastiser of the enemy. So Arjuna, we saw he has defeated even Shiva, he has defeated Indra, he has defeated many devatas also. So here he is further reminding Arjuna's position as a chastiser of the enemy. And now Arjuna is replying that Katam Bhishmam Aham Sanke Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubi Pratiyotsyami Pujarha Varisudana. They are all my worshipable people, the Guru, the elderly people in Vedic civilization. We worship them. We take their blessings. And in Vedic civilization, we saw that the elderly people, we cannot even talk to them in a loud voice. We have to be very humble and we have to be in the side of receiving thing. So when I am in that side, how can I fight against them? So, and this is another question Arjuna is asking. How can you become a Sandipana Sudana? Can you become an Ugrasena Sudana? You are only known as Madhusudana, who is the killer of the demon Madhu. But you cannot be, you're not called as Sandipani Sudana or anything. Why are you making me a Drona Sudana or Bhishma Sudana? So this is a question which Arjuna is asking. So there is further thing that he is talking to Krishna for the reasons for not fighting. So we will read today's sloka. Please repeat after me. Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan.
Mataji, can you please repeat one more time? Sorry.
Okay. Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan.
Guru Nahatva Mahanubhava
Shreyo Bhoktum Vaishmamapi Haloke.
Yopaktam Vaishya
Advarta Kamam Sugurur Nihaiva.
Vartakamansu
Punjiya Bhogan Rudira Pratiktan.
Bhogan Rudira
Rudra
Pradigan.
Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan.
Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan.
Shreyo Bhoktum Vaishmamapi Haloke.
Shreyo Bhoktum Bhaiksyam Api Haloke.
Advarta Kamam Sugurur Nihaiva.
Advartakamanstu Guru Nihaiva.
Punjiya Bhogan Rudira Pratikdan. Who would like to do this sloka?
Yeah, I can do Mataji.
Okay, please.
Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan.
Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan.
Shreyo Bhoktum Bhaiksyam Api Haloke.
Shreyo Bhoktum Vaishmam Api Haloke.
Hatvartakamamstu Guru Haiva.
Hatvarta Kamam Suguru Nihaiva.
Bhunjiya Bhogan Rudira Pradigyan.
Bunjiya Bhogan Rudira Pratikdan.
Guru the superiors, ahatva, not killing, hai, certainly, mahanubhavan, great souls, shreya, it is better, bhoktam, to enjoy life, bhaikshyam, by begging, api, even, iha, in this life, loke, in this world, hatva, killing, artha, gain, kaman, desiring, to, but, gurun, superiors, iha, in this world, eva, certainly, bhunjiya, one has to enjoy, bhogan, enjoyable things, rudira, blood, pradigdhan, tainted with. Translation: it would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Purport. According to spiritual codes, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Dronacharya, Duryodhana, because of his financial assistance, although they should not have accepted such a position simply for financial considerations. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers. But Arjun thinks that nevertheless they remain his superiors, and therefore to enjoy material profits after killing them would mean to enjoy spoils tainted with blood. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So we saw that in the beginning of the purport, Prabhupada has mentioned that according to the scriptural codes, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. So under what condition a guru can be abandoned? When a guru falls off from his position of dharma, when he gets into the activities of sense gratification and other action, even though he's a guru, he's very respectable and you have received knowledge from that guru. But when that particular guru, he has fallen down the position, you did not accept that person as a guru anymore. So here, Bhishma Pita and Dronacharya, why they have fallen down from their position? They are their gurus. What makes them fallen down from their position here?
They took the side of Duryodhan for financial assistance.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they took the side of Duryodhana. They were in the side of Adharma. Another thing is when Draupadi, when she is a woman, and when she was disrobed, there was attempt to disrobe her in an assembly. And that's a very, very, humiliating thing for any woman. And Draupadi, being she is almost like a goddess of Lakshmi. And an attempt was made to disrobe Draupadi in the front of so many people in the assembly. And Dronacharya and Bhishma Pita, they were quiet. Did they even say a single word to them that what they are doing is wrong? A woman is being humiliated in an assembly?
No, they did not.
They are elderly people. They could have said something about it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they have the rights. They have won in the gambling match, but that doesn't mean that they can do whatever they want. And especially, disrespecting a woman in an assembly is such a humiliating thing for any woman, correct? So in spite of that, they were keeping quiet. So they were taking the side of adharma. So yes, Arjuna has taken teaching from Dronacharya. And Arjuna has received a lot of love and affection from Bhishma Pita. But in spite of that, there were a lot of situations which happened in which they did not support them. Because of what reason? They thought that they were getting financial assistance from Dhritarashtra. Because they were working under them, they were obliged, because when we are getting paid, we often become obliged to that particular person. We saw in the first chapter, Dronacharya was really in a poverty-stricken condition. He did not even have money to buy a cup of milk for his son. But Dhritarashtra, he gave him a great position as a royal teacher. And because of that, he felt greatly obliged. Yes, he's a Brahmana. A Brahmana is not supposed to be obliged to anyone. But because of the financial assistance that he was given, he felt that on the basis of the Artha Shastra, because of, on the basis of the grounds of the Artha Shastra, he thought that he has to be obliged to them. He did not follow the Dharma Shastra, but he followed the Artha Shastra. And next is, what about Bhishma? He is one of the greatest devotee of Lord Krishna, and he is called Mahajana. You know who is Mahajana? Is a great personality. Even in the material world, we have interest in some field. Don't we have some role models?
Yes, Mother.
Wherever you are, suppose somebody loves to play cricket, so he takes probably Virat Kohli as a role model, right? Every field, wherever, whichever field you're trying to advance yourself, you have certain role model, because without role model, it is very difficult for us to advance in a particular field. So here, what about devotion? So for devotion also, we need role models. So Mahajana eva gata pada. So one has to follow the footsteps of the Mahajana. So according to the Shastras, there are 12 Mahajanas who are the great devotees of the Lord. You can note down their names. So Bhishma is one of the Mahajan, and 4 Kumaras. Should I write in the chat box, or you can follow me?
Yeah, Mataji, and please write it in the chat box.
I'll write in the chat box. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do a copy paste from there.
Yeah. So we have Brahma, and then we have Narada, Shiva. He is also one of the greatest devotee, Vaishnavana Yata Shambhu. 4 Kumaras, Kapilade, Swayambhuva Manu, and then Prahlad Maharaj, and then we have King Janaka, and then we have Bhishma Dev, we have Bali Maharaj, and we have Sukadeva Goswami, and then we have Yamaraj. Yamaraj is also a Mahajana because he is doing the duty of establishing the Dharma. So are you all aware of all of these personalities? Brahma, everybody knows. Narad Muni, Shiva, 4 Kumaras. You are aware of who are the 4 Kumaras? Are you all aware?
4 Kumaras.
Yes.
Yeah, they are the sons of Brahma. And it is because the 4 Kumaras, they cursed Jaya and Vijaya, they became Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So the four Kumaras once went to Vaikuntha to meet Narayana at that time, because and the four Kumaras, they always remain in the age of 5, and they don't even dress themselves. They thought that if they grow in the age, the Maya will catch them, and that will, make them fall down from their realization. So they preferred to be the small boys of around 5 years, and they were not even wearing any dresses. So when Jaya and Vijaya they thought that, they were not, some imposters, they thought. Somebody who come to the Vaikuntha. But how can an imposter come to Vaikuntha? So because of that, the four Kumaras, they cursed Jaya and Vijaya, and they were the one who became Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Kapiladev is the son of Devahuti. He is also Krishna himself, but who came as a son of Devaki and Kardama Muni. And he gave Sankhya philosophy to his mother Devahuti. And there is a book called The Teachings of Lord Kapiladev also by Prabhupada. And it's a beautiful teaching where he talks about the purpose of the life. And Swayambhuva Manu, we have like many Manus. So Swayambhuva Manu is, he is the father of Devahuti. Prahlad Maharaj, we all know. King Janaka, who is King Janaka? Father of?
Sita Devi?
Sita Devi, yes. Bhishma Dev, of course. Bali Maharaj, we know, who was complete surrendered. He did, who was cheated by Vamana. And Sukadeva Goswami, sorry, I had a spell mistake in Sukadeva Goswami. It became an autocorrect. Sorry about that. I think you all wrote correctly, right?
Yeah, Sukadeva Goswami.
Yeah, it has auto-corrected, sorry. Sukadeva Goswami is the son of Vyasadev. And he is the one who narrated Srimad Bhagavatam to King Parikshit Maharaj. So he is also one of the Mahajan. And Yamaraj, superintendent of death. And he follows the dharma. So Yamaraj has all the list of our karmas. What are the good karmas and bad karmas? And accordingly, he punishes the people or he sends them to heaven. So he's the one who decides everything. But when we become a devotee of Krishna, what happened with Ajamila? Because he took the name of his son Narayana, the name Narayana was so potent that Vishnutudas came, and the Yamadudas, they went back to Yamaraj and they asked him, we thought that you are the master, and we saw somebody else whom we have never seen. And Yamaraj said, even I have a master, and my master is Narayana. So if somebody takes the name of Narayana, then they are under his jurisdiction and not under our jurisdiction. So that is the for chanting the holy names. Kalikale Namarupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna has descended in the form of the holy name. So this is the greatness of the holy name. Holy name is so great. Just by chanting the holy name once also can take away all our sinful activities. So only Emiraj says, only those persons who never chanted my holy names, who never chanted the holy name of Narayana or Krishna, only those persons you bring it to me. So if you're chanting the holy name of Krishna, then you will not be going to Yamaraj. So you will be under the jurisdiction of Krishna himself. Okay, so these are the 12 Mahajanas, and I will also share that sloka which talks about the Mahajana. Is the screen visible?
Yes,
Tarko pratishta sruyatayo vibhinna nashas rishi yasya matam na bhinnam dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhyam mahajano yena gatasa pantha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this verse is taken from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the biography of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dry arguments are inconclusive. A great personality whose opinion does not differ from others is not considered a great sage. Simply by studying the Vedas, which are variegated, one cannot come to the right path by which the religious principles are understood. The solid truth of religious principle is hidden in the heart of the unadulterated, self-realized person. So just by studying the Vedas, you cannot qualify yourself to become a great person, but by the process of self-realization. Consequently, as the Shastras confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajanas advocate. Okay, so this is a verse from Mahabharata, but it is also recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we know that these are the Mahajanas, who are the great devotees of the Lord, and we have to follow the footsteps of these Mahajanas for us to advance in our devotional service. Okay, so when you go to Shiva temple, to Lord Shiva, what do we ask him? We can ask him for our advancement in spiritual life. We can ask him to give us devotion to Krishna because he himself is a devotee. So you can ask him, please guide me that I follow your footsteps, that I also become a good devotee of Lord Krishna. So these are the things that we can ask when we go to Brahma, when we go to Shiva, we can ask them for devotion. So here, Bhishma Pita, he is a Mahajana, a great devotee of the Lord. So how can Arjuna kill them? By tainting their blood. How can I be happy? So this is the argument which Arjuna is putting forward. Okay, but Arjuna thinks that nevertheless they remain his superiors and therefore they enjoy material profits after killing them would mean to enjoy the spoils tainted with the blood. So there are like Artha Shastra and Dharma Shastra. So according to the Artha Shastra, we saw that the Bhishma and Dronacharya, they fell under the category of the aggressors. We saw in the first chapter, sloka number 39, there were 6 aggressors. Who are the 6 aggressors?
The
Who
one
can be
who
killed
sets fire.
immediately? Yes.
The one who, tortures someone else's wife or something.
Yeah, kidnaps others' wife, poison giver,
Poison, yeah.
one who plunder the riches, and
Riches
one
of
who
others.
occupies another land. So they were all the aggressors. And because Bhishma and Dronacharya, in spite of all the aggressive things which Duryodhana did, they supported it. They did not do anything. So they are also considered to be an aggressor. See, some people say that they eat meat. They say that I did not kill the animal myself. Somebody killed it. So I'm just buying and eating. So I am not obliged for it. So will you say, yes, because you did not kill the animal, you're just eating so that you will not get the consequence of eating the animal? Can we say that? Yeah.
No,
For
they also will
example,
get consequences,
you did
yeah.
not kill a particular person, you hired somebody to kill that person. And when you're convicted, you're saying that I did not kill the person, only he killed the person. So he will be convicted. So will you be spared?
No.
No.
Yeah, it is like that. I did not kill myself, but I hired somebody. So you did not directly kill the animal. You just hired somebody to kill it. And today, world, we have slaughterhouses. So very easy for anybody. There is a massive killing of the animals. So just you go and you go to some supermarkets or anything. There is a neatly packed meat and you just have to bring that and you have to eat it. Correct? You don't have to do anything. So this is also one of the reasons why the meat eating population have increased, because of the slaughterhouses. If people, they have to buy an animal and they have to cut the throat of the animal and they see the blood, and if they see so much of violence happening in this activity, do you think so many populations that we see today who are eating meat, will so many people will be eating meat if there is no slaughterhouses?
No, Mataji.
By just seeing the blood oozing out, how many people, you have to be really cruel hearted, right?
Yeah.
To cut the throat of the animal and to do that will not become, because this is that's what the civilization is becoming more and more demonic. So the massive slaughterhouses make things easier. And more than that, we have chains today like McDonald's and KFC, which made it even more accessible to the people. We see that today, even vegetarian people who are born as vegetarians today, even they are comfortably and without any guilt, they are eating all these food. Correct, Mataji? So this is the one thing. So because they assisted them and because they did not oppose them, so they were aggressors, and Arjun has all rights to kill them. By killing them also, he will not get any sinful activity. But here, Arjun is considering in terms of Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra means on the grounds of religious principle, he thinks that forgiving them is better rather than killing them. So that is what Arjuna is thinking. So in the next sloka, we will see that Arjuna's indecisiveness comes to the peak. So we thought that there were 5 reasons for Arjuna not to fight. 4 reasons were from the first chapter, and the 5th reason is in the 6th sloka. So the first reason for Arjuna not to fight is due to compassion. Second one is loss of enjoyment. Third one is fear of sinful activities.
Then
Fourth one is
Kulakshaya.
destruction of
Kulakshaya.
family traditions. Yeah,
Tradition.
Kulakshaya, Kuladhar. And then the last one is indecisiveness. So that is the one which sloka that talks about the indecisiveness of Arjuna, which has reached the peak. That we will see in the next sloka. Okay, please repeat after me. Na chaitat vidma kataranno gariyo.
न च तद्विद्मः कतरं नो गरीयो
Yadva jayema yadi vano jayeyo.
यद्वा
Yadva
जयेम
jayema yadivanayayeo.
यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषाम
यामेव
Yanev
हत्वा न
hatvan
जिजीविषामः
jijivishamas.
देव स्थिता प्रमुखे दार्धराष्ट्रा
देव स्थिताः
Devasthita
प्रमुखे
pramukhe
धार्तराष्ट्रा
dhartarashtra.
न चैतद्विद्म कतरन्नो गरीयो
न
न
च तैर्विद्मः कतरं नो
चैतन्यकतरन्यकरीयो.
गरीयो
यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयु
यद्वा जयेम
जयेम यदि वा न जेयो.
यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषाम
यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः.
देव स्थिता प्रमुखे दार्धराष्ट्रा
देव स्थिताः प्रमुखे
प्रमुखे
धार्तराष्ट्रा
धार्तराष्ट्रा.
Who would like to do? Anushka Mataji, would you like to do?
Yes, Master. न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयो
न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयो
यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयु
यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयु
यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः
यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषाम
एव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः
देव स्थिता प्रमुखे दार्धराष्ट्रा
nor cha also etad this vidmaha do we know katarat which na for us gariya better yatva whether jayema we may conquer yadi if va or na us jayeyu they conquer yan those who eva certainly hatva by killing na never jijivishmaha we would want to learn they all of them avastitaha are situated pramukhe in the front dhartarashtra the sons of Dhritarashtra. Translation: nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Purport: Arjun did not know whether he should fight and risk unnecessary violence, although fighting is the duty of the Kshatriyas, or whether he should refrain and live by begging. If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of subsistence. Nor was there certainty of victory, because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them and their cause was justified, still the sons of Dhritarashtra died in the battle. It would be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for them. All these considerations by Arjun definitely prove that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in the royal household, is another sign of detachment. He was truly virtuous, as these qualities combined with his faith in the words of the instructions of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate indicate it is concluded that Arjun was quite fit for liberation. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge, and without knowledge and devotion there is no chance of liberation. Arjun was competent in all these attributes, over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationships.
Thank you. So we can see that here Arjuna's indecision has reached the peak. He is confused to the greatest extent. So sometimes, even in our life, it happens that there are certain decisions that we find it difficult to take. And at one point of time, the indecisiveness becomes peak. We become very restless. We do not know what to do or what not to do. So here, the indecision that Arjuna is confused whether to fight or not is on following aspects we saw in the purport. So if he fights, what may happen? He may win, but still he will not be able to enjoy without the relatives. We saw that. He was already saying the reason for not fighting is loss of enjoyment. So even if I win, there won't be any enjoyment without any relatives, without any friends. Where is the question of enjoyment? So this sloka is something put together. All the confusions of Arjuna is brought together. And he may not emerge victorious in spite of so much bloodshed. We saw that in the previous sloka, tainted with the blood. So with the blood stain, what kind of enjoyment can he get? So this is the thing if he wins, if he fights. So if he fights, these are the two consequences that can happen. So the next consequence is what in case if he doesn't fight? So here his confusion is whether to fight or not fight. So he thought that if he would fight, there won't be any enjoyment and there would be the blood stains with that. How can I be happy? And if he doesn't fight, what can he do? He doesn't have any means of living, but everybody has to live, right? And Vaishmam Apiha Loke, in the previous sloka itself, what did he say? It is better for me to beg and live. A Kshatriya, how can he have his living by begging? Suppose a Kshatriya is going for begging, and if somebody refuses, so the Kshatriya has a little bit of aggression that the Kshatriya can even take his sword. Because for begging, how one should be? One should be very humble. So that's why in the Gurukula, when the boys or in the Gurukula, they are allowed to go for begging to get the food grains for their Guru and for themselves. Why are they allowed to go to begging? Why the disciples are allowed to go to begging in the Gurukula? What is the reason the Guru sends the students for begging?
To develop humbleness.
Exactly, to develop humility. So, yes, Arjuna, while he was in Gurukula, he can go for begging because it is a part of his Gurukul study. So, for his Guru, he can take the Bhiksha. But now, is he still a student? He has already crossed the Brahmacharya life. He is a Grahastha now. And the Grahastha has to do some work, right? Either he has to administer, or he has to be teaching class, or he has to do some trading, or he has to be doing some service to someone. He has to be falling under one of the varnas. Right? In the Varnashrama society, everybody should fall in one of the varnas. So
Yeah.
here, Arjuna, how can he become a beggar? And how can he? That does not suit him. So it is very difficult for a Kshatriya to become a beggar for the means of sustenance. But here we can see the noble quality of Arjuna. So in spite of having a very high qualification for himself in terms of the warrior, in times of the great lineage that he is coming, Arjuna is ready to go to the extent of begging. And
Yeah.
it will be also, we saw that Anarya Jushtam Asvargyam. If he leaves the battle, he will not be considered as Aryan. Aryan means one who knows the purpose of the life. An-Arya. He will be an uncivilized person. Actual civilization means, what does actual civilization means? Knowing the purpose of the life. And Vedic civilization is designed in such a way, the Varnashrama institution is designed in such a way that one Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, one satisfy Krishna in every aspects of life, and then the goal of the life is to go back to home, back to Godhead. That is what the civilization was. But today, in the name of civilization, what is happening? You ask any student today who are like 15 years, 16 years, 17 years, who will be pursuing their college or who will be pursuing their career. You ask them what is the goal of the life. What will they say?
Maybe to become somebody in the profession that they're looking for.
Exactly. They will just say that maybe I have to become this, I have to become that. Or some people say, I have to buy a big house, I want to buy a big car. That is the goal of the life. But all these things are temporary. They are not going to come with you. But in the Vedic civilization, a child in the brahmacharya is thoroughly educated to become a complete celibrate. Follows a complete celibacy. He's been taught to control his senses and the mind, and he has been taught the purpose of the life. He has been taught with all the shastras. So, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, who are our guidelines? Suppose we are not able to take the decision. We are going in the road. We are going to a new place. Don't we use the GPS?
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
do we use the GPS? Because there is an unknown place for us. We do not know where we are going. So we take the help of the GPS. So similarly, when we are not able to take decisions in our life, we can approach Guru or Sadhu and Shastra, or at least one of them. So this is how a human should do. And in the next sloka, we see that how Arjuna will accept Krishna as his Guru so that he can come out of his confusions. So today also we see the students, they are undergoing a lot of stress, lot of depression. They are not able to take decisions. Why they are not able to take decisions? Because they do not know the purpose of the life. They do not know the goal of the life. That's why it is important that the teaching of Bhagavad Gita is incorporated to them. Like here also we saw in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was indecisive, he was confused. But in spite of that, Arjuna had very noble qualities. In spite of everything, he was not able to take decisions. Then imagine people like us who are not even as enlightened as Arjuna, who do not control the mind and senses like Arjuna. See the detachment of Arjuna. Arjuna was ready to even become a beggar. Is it not a sign of detachment? Is it possible for somebody to have everything and to give up everything? Is it so easy? Not, but Arjuna showed such a noble quality. So in spite of all such noble qualities, also Arjuna was very indecisive in the life. So what to do and what not to do. So today we don't know anything and we are not even taking the guidance of Shastras. Then what kind of life can we expect? Can we expect anything good happening in our life without taking the shelter of Shastras or Guru and Sadhu?
No, Mataji.
Nothing can happen. So this is what we saw. So the consideration by Arjuna prove that Arjuna's following virtuous qualities. Here, that's what we saw in the purport. Is it just because Arjuna did the indecisiveness of Arjuna here was because of his saintly quality, virtuous quality? What are some of the virtual qualities of Arjuna? He was the first qualification is Bhaktosi me Sakacheti. He was the greatest devotee of Krishna. Why did Krishna become Arjuna's charioteer? Because Arjuna was a greatest devotee of Krishna. And why did Krishna narrate Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna? Because Bhaktosi me Sakacheti. He was a great devotee as well as the friend. So for Krishna to communicate to somebody, they should have some qualification. Like we saw, Dhritarashtra is hearing the entire Bhagavad Gita from Sanjaya. But did Dhritarashtra's heart change?
No.
But Arjuna's heart changed. In the end, he says, Nashto, all his confusions got Nashto Moha, everything got cleared. But Dhritarashtra's heart did not get clear because he was not a devotee. That's why we are asking you all to chant. Why do we chant? Why do we offer food? We are all trying to become devotees of Krishna from the initial stage so that this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita can get into us. Without becoming a devotee of Krishna, we can become even a scholar of Bhagavad Gita. One can also do a PhD in Bhagavad Gita, but one cannot understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. And he is highly enlightened. He's thinking on various grounds. We saw that in spite of being an aggressor, he's thinking on the Dharma Shastra, on a higher code, on the Vedic principles, how the elders should be respected, how the Guru should be respected. Correct. And then he has a complete control of mind and senses. Can't we not see that? For somebody to get into the begging, for somebody to give up all the facilities the life is going to give you, Krishna is saying clearly, if you win, you will enjoy the kingdom. If you lose, you will go to Swargaloka. Both are win-win situation. Will Arjuna have any loss by fighting this battle? Whether he is winning or losing? Is there anything that Arjuna is going to lose here? No, he is not going to lose anything here. So in spite of that, he was ready to give up. So this shows that Arjuna has a complete control of mind and the senses. And we saw that Arjuna had a desire to live by begging. This is a sign of detachment. Detachment. So for all of us, the Varnashrama society is built in such a way that Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa, this society itself for us to gradually get detached, because unless otherwise we slowly get detached from our responsibilities in this world. Yes, while we are a Grahastha, we have responsibility towards our children, towards everything. But are you responsible for your child even when you become 75 years old? Your child itself will be around 40, 45 years by then. So does your child has no capacity to take care of his or her family?
They have the capacity and we don't have to be with them.
Yeah, we don't have to be, thinking my grandchildren's, their children's, their thing, and we just don't have to be behind them all the time. Yes, you need to give them guidance, you need to give the care, you need to give them the family values and everything, but you just don't have to be in the stage of possessing them. They belong to me. You have to come out of that attachment. And he also had a very strong faith in Krishna's words. That's why in the next sloka we say that Karpanya dosho pahatta swabhava prichami tvam dharma sammuda sheta. He's going to accept Krishna as a spiritual master. So that also shows that about his virtuous nature. So for all of us who want to advance in the spiritual life, we all have to take a guru in our life. Before we, quit the life in this world, before we leave the body, one should always think on the line of accepting a spiritual master. Because tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. So one has to serve the spiritual master with humility and with a service attitude. Why? By doing that, he will reveal the truth. He has Tattvadarshina, he has already seen the truth. We have seen that Prabhupada, because he was such a pure devotee, and the initial disciples of Prabhupada, they did not know anything about Krishna in their lives. They did not know anything about Bhagavad Gita, or they have not even heard of that. But in spite of that, because they had the association of a pure devotee, within 6 months, Prabhupada has given the responsibility for them to run the center. They were also giving Bhagavatam class within 6 months under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada. So that is a mercy that one gets by accepting a spiritual master. So each and every one of us should think on a line of accepting spiritual master in our life, at least. We are in Bhagavad Gita, we are learning Bhagavad Gita, and very much the acceptance of Guru is very much needed, which is given in Bhagavad Gita in itself. So all these qualities make Arjuna a person who is fit for liberation. If you want to get into liberation, there are certain qualifications. By being attached, by having uncontrolled mind and uncontrolled senses, is it possible for us to get liberated?
No.
So what is the first qualification to get liberated? We need to have the knowledge. Like what is body, what is soul, and without knowledge, one will not even think on the subject matter of liberation. So that knowledge, how can one get that knowledge? That knowledge is only obtained by controlling the senses. Why are we taking only prasadam? Because prasadam helps us to control our senses, which is our tongue. Our tongue is the most ferocious sense of all the senses. The tongue is the most ferocious. So that's why Sebon Mukohi Jikvaho. So with the tongue, we have two main functions. What do? We chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and we accept Krishna Prasadam. By doing these two main functions, what happens to our tongue? Our tongue automatically gets controlled. If our tongue is controlled, the other senses automatically gets controlled. Correct.
Yeah.
If we have anything, you are just only eating prasadam, then you will not go to some fast food and you will eat the food, or you will not go to mall and go to the food court and eat. So your Maya is almost getting controlled. Just you have a restricted eating of only eating the Krishna prasadam. Correct? Hearing, all the things gets controlled when our tongue is controlled. So in the next thing, we'll see what are the qualifications for liberation. Is to have the control senses, knowledge and devotion. So to get devotion also, we need to have some knowledge, right? So sentimentally, one cannot become a devotee of the Lord. You may become a devotee of the Lord just when you are in some satsang or when you are in some thing. But after that, when you are in a regular life, you will always fall back. This happens even to us when we are hearing Bhagavad Gita classes on Sundays. We are so charged up to do devotional service. We wanted to read, we wanted to chant and everything. But after 2-3 days or 4 days, what happens to our motivation level? If we are not
Diminishes.
reading or if we are not chanting, are we having the same enthusiasm that you had that day when you heard the class? Or the enthusiasm slowly comes down?
It will come down.
Yeah. So that is why we always have to keep association with the holy name. And we also always have to take the guidance from Shastra. So reading Prabhupada's book constantly will definitely help us to become a steadfast devotee of Krishna. That will make us to remain in devotion to Krishna. So unless the senses are controlled, no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. With uncontrolled senses, we cannot come to the right knowledge. So today we see that there are so many so-called spiritualists. We all know that. We don't name them. But I just wanted to say the statement of one of the spiritualists who was saying that, who is your best friend in your life? And what was his answer? Can anybody predict what he would have said that? Not your husband, not your children, not your parents, not your friend. The best friend is only your body, because your body is the only one which is there with you from the birth and death. And whatever you give to your body gives you back. If that is the truth, are we not seeing that people who are having very clean habits, who have not done anything in their life towards their body, have we not seen that they are suffering from cancer? If you have done everything so good to your body, why do you get diseases like cancer? You shouldn't, right? According to his statement, whatever you give to your body reciprocates. Yes, to a certain extent, but can our body reciprocate to us completely?
No.
It cannot, because I've seen many people. Recently also, one of our society member, that uncle, he was having a very clean habits. He was always waking up early in the morning, and he was an avid reader. He has so many books and very clean habits, very proper in eating and everything. But he was suffering from cancer for almost 1.5 years. And then he passed away recently. But if you see his manners, if you see how he was taking care of his body and his overall self with his mind, nothing he has done for him to get cancer. So the spiritualist also today saying that focus your mind in serving your body and your body will give back. Will that alone help you? Yes, we need to take care of our body because the body is our vehicle. Yantra Rudani Mayaya. So this is a machine that we are having where the soul is put. But that thing is only to keep the body and soul together. Yes, a little bit of yoga, a little bit of exercise is needed for our good health. For that, throughout the day, one cannot do everything only for the body. Our important thing is we are the soul. We are not the body. So while we are doing many things for our body, if we do not nurture, nourish our soul, what will happen to us after death? We just change the bodies as per the consciousness that we live. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavita. Krishna says, whatever consciousness one leaves the body, that body one attains for sure. But one who thinks about Krishna, they will go to Krishna. So we are doing, a person who is fit for liberation should control his mind and senses. And by controlling his mind and senses, he developed the right knowledge. With the right knowledge, he gets into devotion. And with the devotion, a person would be able to remember Krishna all the time. The conclusion of all the Shastras is always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So that is a stage that we should try to come. Krishna says in the 7th chapter, Rasoham apsu kaunteya, Prabhashmi sasi suryayo. I am the taste of water, I am the sunlight, I am the moonlight, I am the pranava mantra, I am the fragrance of the flower, I am the intelligence, I am everything. That is what Krishna is saying. When he has already said that he is everything, so in each and every aspect of life, one can try to see Krishna. For that, one has to train himself. So to train oneself, one has to learn to control the mind and senses, which can happen by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and by accepting the Krishna Prasadam. So these are the ways in which we can control the senses. Sevon Mukohi Jikvahu. So we have to control by accepting the Prasadam. And Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchate. So the easiest way for us to purify our senses is by serving the senses of Krishna. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. By serving the senses of Krishna, our senses get automatically purified and one comes out of all sort of designations. I am this, I am that, I am whatever designations we have. These are all our material temporary designations, whereas the real designation is Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityada. So we can come that by serving the senses of Krishna. So how do you serve the senses of Krishna? What do you do to serve the senses of Krishna?
To chant, to offer bhoga.
Bhoga, to give him fragrant flowers.
Yeah.
When you're offering, so Krishna can smell very nice flower by decorating him nicely, by doing alankar of him, by cleaning his temple, by keeping it neat. All these things, or by, using our legs to walk to the temple, like Amrish Maharaj. He completely engaged all his senses in the service of Krishna. He used his eyes to see the deities of Krishna. He used his nose to smell the flowers offered to Krishna. He used his tongue to taste Krishna Prasadam. He used his hand to clean the temple of Krishna. He used his head to bow down to Krishna. He used his legs to walk to the temples of Krishna, to go to the pilgrimages. So these are the ways in which we can serve the senses of Krishna. And by serving the senses of Krishna, our senses get automatically purified. One cannot refrain ourselves. See, today we may think, okay, I have given up eating gulab jamun. Yes, you might have externally giving up, but by saying gulab jamun, your mind may think, okay, maybe I shouldn't have taken such oath. I should have, had I not taken, I would have at least taken. But a devotee, what does a devotee does? A devotee makes a gulab jamun, offer it to Krishna and take it as a prasadam. He is not refraining from eating the gulab jamun, whereas he is giving that to Krishna and taking it as a Krishna prasadam. So these are the ways in which we can control our senses. We cannot become desireless, but we can use our desire to serve Krishna. Okay. So with this, we complete our comment for the 6th sloka. Is everything clear with this sloka?
Yes,
So how
Mataji.
Arjuna reached the stage of peak of confusion, and from next sloka onwards, Krishna will guide him, and so that Arjuna's confusions will go away. In the end of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Nashto Moha, all my confusions got cleared. So we also have to take the shelter of Krishna, we have to take the shelter of Bhagavad Gita, we have to take shelter of Guru and Sadhu and Shastra, so that we can take proper decisions in the life and make the human form of life that we got to be successful. Means to go back home, back to Godhead. Okay. Any questions or any realizations in today's class?
Mataji, I have a question about taking shelter of Guru,
Yeah.
Sadhu and Shastra you mentioned.
Yeah.
So Guru, okay, spiritual master.
Yeah.
Then Shastra, okay, all our scriptures. And
Yeah.
Sadhu, who is the Sadhu?
Sadhu is the one who is following any saintly person is a sadhu. Basically,
Okay.
a saintly person is a sadhu. So you accept one guru, but there are so many sadhus who are in the spiritual path.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
just
okay,
doesn't because you accepted one guru, not necessarily that you only have to follow the guru. For example, I have taken the shelter from His Holiness Bhaktivika Swami Maharaj. He is my spiritual master. But there are so many other spiritual masters also in ISKCON. So
Correct, yeah,
when
that
they
is true.
come, we also try to take their association also because they are sadhus.
Mhm.
They are not my
Okay.
guru, but they are sadhus.
Okay, okay.
So we have to
Mm.
take shelter whenever you have an opportunity to meet enlightened devotees and advanced devotees. Even an advanced devotee may not be a Maharaj, maybe a Mataji or maybe a Prabhuji. But if they are advanced, then we can take their association. They are also called as sadhu because they have
Yes.
controlled their mind and senses. By getting their association, we also get purified.
Okay.
So the
So this is more
Shastra is
like
our
a
Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the scriptures. Yes, Mataji.
so it's more like Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru
Yeah,
that
you
way.
can take that way also. So we need to
Oh.
always consult rather than thinking, what can I do for myself? If we come to a stage of indecisiveness in our life, so consult Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. And we will see that in the next sloka, how Arjuna thought that the friendly talk doesn't help because Krishna and Arjuna were friends. We don't take the talk between the friends very seriously. Correct? So Arjuna says, Krishna, as you accept me as your disciple. He accepts Krishna as a spiritual master because when there is a spiritual master, there is a gravity in the words. You're more
Correct, yeah.
serious. So that's what we will see how Arjuna, that's actually a turning point, a verse with turning point in Bhagavad Gita's verse is the next sloka. It's a very, very beautiful sloka, the Karpanya Dosho Pahata Swabhava. So we will do that in the next class. Okay. So far everything is clear. So by this, it ends all the Arjuna's questions are all done. So from now onwards, Krishna will be refuting all his arguments. And in that also, Arjuna will ask some more questions and again Krishna will answer. So this is how the entire flow of Bhagavad Gita is. So the actual teaching of Bhagavad Gita starts only from now onwards. Maybe from 11, but before that, it's all about Arjuna's condition, Arjuna's situation, in what all the angles he was thinking. But whatever it is, even though Arjuna was indecisive, but he was having noble qualities. So a devotee, a person can also become a devotee by having such noble qualities. So a devotee should know to control his mind and senses. And the way to control the mind and senses is by serving Krishna. By chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can come to that stage. Okay, Mataji. Anybody, any other questions by anyone?
Mataji, I want to know what are the qualifications to get Guru Diksha?
Yeah. So to get Guru Diksha, at least for 1 year, you should be chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. And you should follow the 4 regulative principles, which we discussed in the class. What are the 4 regulative principles, Mataji? Are you aware?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Can you please tell that?
Like no meditating,
Mhm.
no rambling,
Yeah.
no illicit relationship,
Mhm.
and one more is that.
No intoxication.
Intoxication. Yes,
Yeah,
Mataji.
intoxication also includes coffee and tea. No caffeine
Yes,
also. Okay, so these are the 4 regulative principles, and we only accept Krishna Prashadam and no kanda lasum, no garlic and onions and mushroom. So these are the things that we do not eat. And that's all, 4 regulative principles. And different gurus, they have little bit of other expectations. Like some of them, they wanted you at least to finish the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and to read Bhagavad Gita at least twice, like that. So some amount of reading is also needed. And there is an ISKCON disciple course. So you have to do that course also. That is mandatory by GBC for getting a guru. So you can do ISKCON disciple course, provided you have been doing all the following the 4 regulative principles and chanting for 1 year at least, a minimum of 1 year. Yeah. So that's all. These are the only qualification. And then you take the shelter of Guru. You will get the pranam mantra. And then after few months, you first take the shelter, ashraya, and then you will get the diksha. Yeah, it's not very hard. It's very simple. Just, that's what, today the simple life is also very difficult for us.
Yes, Mataji.
Living simply is so hard today.
Hard today, yes.
Yeah, that's what Prabhupada said, simple living and high thinking. Today, people live with simply living and no thinking. So that's what today's world is. Just simply live and no need to think anything. They said, just leave the world, just leave to the moment. Yes, you will leave to the moment. So the moment has so many things to do. So if you're living to the moment and if you're taking up, then why are the number of counselors becoming more? Why are there more psychologists and psychiatrists cropping up? Why are the children facing more of issues like stress, depression, and everything? If they know the proper way of living. Work hard, play hard. These are all just nonsense things. So one good thing which a government does, we are talking about many issues that are happening and this one, that one, but we are not giving them the basic education of Bhagavad Gita through their schooling. They are in the school for 12 years.
Compulsory.
Exactly. Exactly.
Schools.
It is only the government, Mataji. Even I have seen by book distribution, even Christians or Muslims, they are ready to take the books. You tell them, we are secular. We are not telling you worship this. We just tell you to love your God. Like beyond birth and death, everybody dies. Everybody becomes old, right? It's not only that only Hindus die, only Christians die. Is it anything like that? These are all the general problems in the life. And Prabhupada's books are so, secular, nothing to do. Everybody can read. No religion, nothing.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with any religion. So only we, the government, they think, in the name of secularism and bringing all the divisions, this, the Hindutva, this one. No, it is only one Vasudeva Kudumbam. It is only one family. Just people follow a different path. And Bhagavad Gita, Krishna never spoke about any rituals, do the dupa, do the diya, nothing. He is just telling us how we should live, how we should control our mind, how we should control our senses, how we understand the goal of life, how we know to come out of the cycle of repeated birth and death. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshanu Darshana. These are the pangs of life. What else Krishna is telling us? Nothing else he tells us for us to see. It has nothing to do. Did he tell us to do some Ganpati Homam or Navagraha Homam in Bhagavad Gita?
No,
He did
no,
not say
Mataji.
as anything. Then where is the rituals? Nothing is there. It is just how to live in such a life so that we come out of the problems of the permanent problems that we are facing, that birth, death, old age, and disease. These are the problems that an intelligent person should try to come out of it. Yeah, just extending the life alone is not very nice. One may be kept in the ventilator for months together, but how does it help? Just elongating the life, does it really help a person? No.
No, no.
We see that life expectancy is coming down. Suddenly we see people are dying very young also today out of heart attack and many issues.
Yes.
We never knew like how long people live. Yeah, 100 years is what a person is supposed to live, but how many of them make
Yes.
up to 100? Very few. Maybe 1% of population will make it to 100.
Yes, Mataji.
Very less. So we need to know every time Durlabham Manusham Janma, the human form of life is very, very rare. That's what Prahlad Maharaj says. That even if one lives for 100 years, 50 years goes in sleeping and eating and all our other things. So another 20 years goes in childhood proclivities. A child is not very serious. A child is very playful. So, and then another 30 years that is there, we do some work, we do this, 20 years goes in that. So in the human form of life, we only get 10 years for our spiritual advancement. So we should not think that, we have a lot of time, spirituality is at the old age. No. First of all, you do not know whether you will make up to old age today. And second thing is in the old age, you are so conditioned. How can you come out of your habits? If somebody is addicted to take tea and coffee for 40, 50 years in the life, do you think it's so easy for
Will
them
not
to come
move.
out of it? No. But in the
No,
young
they'll say
age,
keep it
it's
with you.
exactly in the young age, it's more easy. When you're young, making changes in your life is very easy. But
Yes, yes,
as
Mataji.
you get old, the conditioning becomes more and more strong that it becomes hard. It's impossible, but it just becomes hard. But there are so many people, there are devotees whose mothers, even at the age of 70 years, seeing their child following Krishna conscious very nicely, they also have become very nice devotee and taken Diksha at the age of 72, 73 also. But for them, at least they need a strong association of
Yes,
maybe the
yes.
daughter or the son to be a devotee. Then they can
At
overcome.
least a person in the family.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
strong, very strong association is needed. But a 70, 75-year-old person on their own taking Diksha without the family support is very hard. That's the thing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but one should always think in the line of accepting a guru, because without guru, it's by the mercy of guru, one gets Krishna. By the mercy of Krishna, one gets guru. So first Krishna directs us to a guru, and then the guru directs us to Krishna. So even for me, few years back, even I never thought that I'll get initiation, but I heard from one of the advanced devotees who strongly said that it is very important to take shelter of a guru. She said it's an emergency, because many of the Prabhupada disciples today, they are all in the old age. They are all 70 plus. We do not know how long they are going to be there in this world. So if we want to get their association, better we should try to get Diksha at the earliest. Maybe at least keep a span of 1 or 2 years or 3 years maximum and think on the lines of getting Diksha. At least aspire. If you aspire, Krishna will definitely make it happen. But that desire should come from us, because Krishna cannot force us. Even I had a desire, but situation was not very favorable to me either. But because the desire was very strong, I was able to get Diksha. It's going to be almost 2 years by this May 4th that I got my Diksha, but it will happen if we have strong desire. But please desire. That's my only request to all of you. Okay? We'll stop the class now.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay.
Hare
We'll
Krishna.
do the Narsimha Pranam Mantra, or you're getting late?
We can do Mataji.
Namaste. Okay, we'll do that. We'll just recite once. Are you all doing this Narsimha Pranam Mantra every day? Very important, because Narsimha Dev also protects our devotion. So we need mercy of Krishna to protect our devotion also. Okay, we'll start. We'll all sing together. Now that all of us are familiar, we'll sing together. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladalagadai Hiranyakashi Purvashata Shilatankanakalai Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Bhagi Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade Tavakara Kamala Varena Kam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Bhakti Vigna Vinashaka Narsimha Bhagwan ki jai Bhakti Shiromani Prahlad Maharaj ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai Hare Krishna. So all of you please chant your rounds, read Prabhupada's books, and take Krishna Prasadam. They are very, very simple way to obtain devotion. It's not at all hard, just that we need to put a little bit of efforts to do these things. At least everybody can start with minimum of dedicating 1 hour or 30 minutes for Krishna consciousness, and slowly you can build on it. One cannot become a chanter of 16 rounds on one day, but slowly, gradually increase your rounds so that you can come to that stage of chanting your 16 rounds. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.